So what happened now here, try to understand. As per this, primitive data structures, they will be used to represent single values, okay, such as integers, floating point numbers, characters and booleans. So here in C I have shown these are all variables storing data structures of single values. Integer, here you can comment here integer. This is if you put this as 10.8, so you will comment here floating point, have simple float, okay. So these are all primitive type data structures. Whenever you want to create abstract data structures, they will be created with the help of by using primitive data types: integer, float, characters, booleans, okay. So they will be used to do some specialized and complex operations. Some one examples for abstract data structures: arrays, linked list, stacks, queues. So I have created one data structure, abstract data structure, with the help of primitive data types. Example I am showing here, I have shown here. This is the array created in C language. With the help of integers, I have used this integer data type, primitive data type integer. I have used one array created, part of your abstract data structure, and after that I have used for loop to show, to get the all integer values, primitive data type values one by one as a result. So one by one, if I want to get all them, build and run, you will get all the values one by one, okay, of that array. Array is the example of abstract data structures. So I want to get the result. I am waiting for the result. About here, again you run build and run, you click on the build and run. The application was unable to start correctly, is the error here. So now try to understand. I have gotten I am able to see all the values 10, 20, 30, 40 one by one, okay. Why? Because here 10 is included here, because here I need to use line, next line, slash n. I need to, whenever if I use slash n here, backslash n, so next line you will get the next line here, okay. Now you run this, about this code and build and run, you will get, that is what. So whenever I have given the slash n is a character which will be used for next line. If I will not give, so this 10 will be added, okay, just beside of this sum of two numbers, okay. So that is what. Now understood that these are the, so now 10, 20, 30, 40, these values, integer values of the array, and integer values one by one, I am able to see all these as one by one I am seeing. So understood that. So now one array is created as example of abstract data structures. That abstract data structure array created by the help of integers, otherwise floating point, characters, booleans. So all these words I am using, characters, integers, float number, I am using characters, booleans, I am stating boolean values here. So this is what these are boolean values, true false. So initially I told that you must have somewhat basic knowledge. Suppose if you want to understand, that is your um, data structures and algorithms, you must have basic knowledge of any programming language. Initially I told you that if you don't have the basic knowledge, any one programming language of these, any one of programming language, Python, C, C++, any one. I have written in Python, same written in C language also. If you need, I will written in Java. The code I will write in Java. There's no problem, but you must have somewhat basic knowledge in any one language if you want to understand data structures and algorithms. Without having knowledge in any one language, you will get difficulty. If you want to directly jump into data structures and algorithm, it is foolishness. Understand? You must have thorough knowledge of any one language, either Python, C, C++, Java. Then if you want to study, if you want to understand about data structures and algorithm, that is right thing. Understand? So as per this, I have briefed algorithms very with the example, and data structures. I told you that data structure nothing but how to store your data in a structure. Suppose if you want to store five value, okay. If you want to store five value, 5 is an integer value. You want to store this 5 integer value. So how to store that data? So as per data structure, what is the meaning of the data structure? Data structure is a way to store data. It is a way to store data. So in which structure you want to store the data? So if it is an integer data, you need to create integer. I have created a variable and declared integer data type, and I have assigned it. I have stored this value 5 integer data in this variable. But in Python, here I have stored this 5 integer value in a variable created, but I have not declared it as a data type, integer data type. I have not used it here. I have not used integer, okay, just variable created. But here in C, we need to say this variable stores which type of data. I need to say integer, okay. So that is the same thing. Data structure is more how to store the data in which data structure, okay. We can use different ways to store the data, okay. Different data structures are there. So as per our statement, primitive data structures, all what numbers, floating point numbers, characters, booleans, they are called primitive data structures, which will represent only store single values. So these are primitive. This is primitive data structure. This is primitive data structure, means this is floating point. Like if you want to store character in C, you need to say char, okay. Then after create a variable, suppose letter, okay, understood that, is equal to, next you can store char, only one char always represented in C, single quotation marks. So C is what? A character. The character stored letter, one variable I have created, that is letter. Within that C, this is a primitive data type. It is a data structure stored in this variable. Before that, I need to declare that this variable stores which type of data, char. If I want to get this print, you need to use printf function. So now try to understand. This is the result, value stored in letter C. So in this is a variable which is holding C character. So I have used a printf function and some string type of data I have kept. After that, I found the result, okay. So result is what, as I have briefed that. So the result is what, value stored in